But can you do this? Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Watch or Not, the series where I take the first episode of an anime side-based editing. I'm gonna keep on watching the show or not, and today it's Shopkeeper Skeleton Honda-san. Skeleton Shopkeeper Honda-san. Sure. So the first thing that I noticed was that the animation doesn't really exist. It's mostly composed of static elements that move a bit. Kinda like Inferno Cop, which was a pretty cool show. But I'd say that this is even a step beyond, because the backgrounds, the characters, the interactions are all pretty well drawn. They're colorful, they're charming, and they don't look like they've been cut out from different shows and randomly put together. But I've said this time and time again. Animation isn't that important as long as the story is good. And I wouldn't even say that the animation is a minus here, because even though it might be minimalistic and not have much animation, it's still charming in its own right. So the story is about Honda, who is a skeleton shopkeeper in a bookstore. And this is also a short anime, which means 10 minutes per episode, and they even split that 10 minutes into 2 stories. And there isn't anything that deep in it. It's pretty much a comedy about what a normal bookstore teller might face in their everyday life. And I'm not sure about this, but I feel like the stories here could actually have been taken from real life, because aside from the exaggerated characters, they do seem kinda down to earth. Like in the first part, there's a man who appears and wants a manga for her daughter, but it turns out to be a yaoi, and then Honda has to explain how that doesn't really exist there, and hilarity ensues. And then a more standard weeb appears and starts demanding all kind of unique anime and manga for their collection. And in the second part, Honda deals with girls who are really into boy love. That's pretty much it. And having thought about it, I'm giving Skeleton Shopkeeper Honda-san a nod. There wasn't anything inherently wrong with it, and I don't blame the animation. I didn't care that much about it. But the thing is that it wasn't that entertaining for me. Especially if it's supposed to be a comedy, it should at least make me laugh or chuckle or kinda like exhale out of my nose a bit more than I normally do, but it never achieved that. The thing is that it does feel like they're tackling everyday stories that a shopkeeper might face, and that just makes me feel like I'm watching a show about a person doing their job. And honestly, that doesn't seem that interesting for me. I'm sure that if you have or are working in a bookstore, then this might be really interesting to you and might be funny because you have had the same interactions and can put yourself in the place of Honda. But again, I don't have that connection, and this just felt like a normal person doing a normal job, and so that's that. And because so many of you asked for it, next week I'll be watching all things Zombieland Saga. But now, don't forget to check out that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.